Guys, welcome back. Brand new video. Today we're doing two WNBA player props here over on PrizePicks for Thursday, July 3rd. Before I get started, you guys take a look in the description below. Hop into the Discord, $9.30 per month. Currently doing a promo right now for first-time members. It comes out to like $6 for the full first 30 days. With the link in the description below, promo code TUFF. Also, you guys follow me on Twitter at ToughPicks. Been posting daily plays of the day over on Twitter. Really trying to grow my Twitter following as well. But yeah, let's not waste any time. We have a nice WNBA slate today. Obviously, no WNBA yesterday, and then the Commissioner's Cup final was on Tuesday. So we just haven't. A lot of these teams are on multiple days rest. So 5 games here on the slate. I got 2 player props from both the games that I'm expecting to be the closest. Also, books obviously expecting these games to be the closest as well. But yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's just get right into it. The first play I'm looking at, just first play on the board, is going to be A'ja Wilson over 49.5 fantasy score. I think, again, this is the lowest we've seen Asia's fantasy score line all season. We look at this matchup here. Obviously, the Caitlin Clark is out. Indiana playing at home. They play much better at home. Indiana also coming off the Commissioner's Cup championship, right? This is a 4.5-point spread, I believe. But Vegas obviously hasn't been playing well all season. And, again, A'ja Wilson is the best player on this team, and she should be able to dominate. But taking a look here over at A'ja Wilson, she's been playing well. Right, kind of turned it up, gotten a little more aggressive, coming off a 61.1 fantasy point game where she finished with 26, 18, and 7, 1-1, 19 field goal attempts. I think she came out and even made a statement that she needs to be more aggressive, and we definitely saw that in her last game that she did play here. So we look over on Outlier. Again, this link in the description. You can get a 7-day free trial with Outlier. Again, an absolute elite research betting tool that I do use every single day. But last season, she was over this line in 28 of 44 games. If we filter this to her last 20 games, she's only over in 6 of her last 20, which kind of goes to show you the aggressiveness and just overall how the Las Vegas Aces have been playing. Away games, she's over in 13 of 20. She historically, going back to the last couple of seasons, has played a lot better on the road, just given how role players don't play as well and given how she needs to play more aggressive in those type of road game environments, especially at Indiana, which brings me to my next kind of point here. With Indiana, A'ja Wilson's kind of always played pretty aggressive, right? 52 career average, 52.6 average essentially over her last 3 games versus the Indiana Fever, 56, 61, 59, 44, and 41.4 earlier this season versus Indiana, which again was kind of the stretch where Las Vegas was not playing well. She finished with 24, 7, 2, 1, 2, 3 turnovers, 8 for 21 from the field. Did not shoot the ball well either. Finished with 41.4 fantasy, which again is relatively not a great game for A'ja Wilson, given how she can impact the game on the defensive side of the ball. But it's a really good matchup, specifically for Indiana as of late. Since June 1st, Indiana allowing the most points in the paint in the WNBA. Let's actually zoom out on this. The most points in the paint in the WNBA at 39.6 points in the paint. They also, on the season, allowing the second most total blocks to opponents, which, again, A'ja Wilson leading the WNBA in blocks. Again, should be a competitive game. Obviously, Vegas on the road. This game should be super ultra competitive, in my opinion. I think A'ja Wilson, she sees the Caitlin Clark narrative of, is Caitlin Clark the most popular player in the WNBA? A'ja Wilson, obviously a 3-time MVP. Well, she should and probably will come out aggressive in this one. And again, anytime you can see A'ja Wilson's fantasy score under 50, I think is a great value in my opinion. So A'ja Wilson over 49.5 fantasy is the first play. The second one I'm looking at is going to be Nneka Ogwumike. I like her over 32 fantasy score. Taking a look at this one here. Nneka, obviously, with Drew Lloyd gone, right, the offense is kind of running through her and Skylar Diggins, but she's had a great stretch of games here recently, besides these last 2, one being a blowout where she played 23 minutes. We look over on Outlier. This season, Nneka, like I said, she's over in 8 of 17 games total. We look at kind of her last 10 games, over in 5 of 10, but this game here played, or let's actually just look at on the season when she plays 30 minutes, right, which is key here for Nneka because these games need to be competitive. Obviously, Seattle's a good team. They've blown out teams quite a bit this season. With 30 minutes, or actually, let's do 28. I think that's a better for 29. Over in 7 of 12 with 29 minutes, averaging 36.2 fantasy. If she does play, like I'm expecting this game to be 32 minutes, over in 6 of 7, averaging 41.2 fantasy, which I think she should see a 32-minute fantasy score range, honestly, in this one, just given the spread. I think it's 1.5 at Atlanta. And Atlanta could or could not be without Ryan Howard. I think this game will be competitive with or without Ryan Howard. If Ryan Howard does play, I think it's that will be that much more competitive. But it's a strong matchup for Onyeka. If we look here, field goal attempts from the 10 to 14 foot range in the WNBA. The Atlanta Dream allow the most shots from this range, right? 7.4 field goal attempts essentially per game from this range area, 10 to 14 feet. And we look at the entire WNBA from 10 to 14 feet. Onyeka takes the fifth most shots from this range at 2.4 per game, but she has the highest field goal percentage of any of these players that are taking these type of shots, right? You look at here, 62.5 is the highest on this kind of area, which presents a great value. Also, with Atlanta, they run that double big lineup with Brianna Jones and Brittany Griner, which I think helps Onyeka here as well. Just obviously giving upside for even more minutes on the floor. And then also points in the paint. Atlanta on the season, fifth most points in the paint, 36.9 for the Seattle Storm. Onyeka averages 53.3% of her total points that she does score are in the paint, right? As you can see right here. So this should be a very close matchup, 1.5 point spread, I think, at 32.5. A little bit too low of a line for Onyeka here. If you consider like a 16-6, 1, 2-2 game for her, pretty clear, easily clears the over on this line. And her two best games this season, actually, 50 points in both of these have both come on the road. She's very well rested as well. If you talk about Onyeka over the last, I don't know, let's do the last 20 games that she's played, with at least 2 days of rest. She's over in 7 of 12, averaging 34.75 with 2+ days of rest and, 32 minutes, which she probably should see. 5 of 7, averaging 37.8. I mean, there's just a variety of different filters you can put for Onyeka here in this one, but I think it's too low of a line. So 2 player props for this YouTube video with WNBA on Thursday, July 3rd. Please drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.